make AI great again. Similar to how Donald
Yeah.
Trump market MAGA, we
Yeah.
just want to make AI great again. MAIGA, right? So MAIGA, essentially, we are building AI agent for DeFi with ZK proof. ZK proof is the privacy for the transaction. But how do we start?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 70 of Colors of Web3 and Entrepreneurship. My name is Lum, your Web3 host. For those of you who are new to the show, Colors of Web3 and Entrepreneurship is a show highlighting the journeys of builders and innovators in Web3 and entrepreneurship. Some topics, especially in Web3, may get technical, but we do our best to keep it accessible for most of you. Here today, I'm joined by Victor Lee. He's the co-founder and CEO of MAIGA. Victor, could you give a quick introduction by yourself?
Hey, Lam. Hey, everyone. My name is Victor. I'm the CEO and co-founder for MAIGA.ai. Glad to be here today. Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. So I think many people will be very curious to know about your background before you begin this company. If you could pick a timeline, maybe from the time you were in university or maybe from your first job or something like that, and then walk us forward up to this present day, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. I personally, the background about myself, I personally used to be a product manager, software engineer, and of course, builder, right? In the fintech and banking space. Before I ventured into the whole cryptocurrency, Web3 and blockchain industry, I was working in fintech and banking. That was more than 10 years ago. I was a product and innovation lead within Standard Chartered Bank back in my corporate days. So I'm aware of how banking, finance work in the real world. And on top of that, I have a bachelor degree in computer science as well. Being an entrepreneur myself and engineer, I like to solve problems. I like to create stuff that excites me. And I've been looking at different technology from Web 1, Web 2, social media, mobile, and of course, blockchain space back in 2016. It was a new technology that I was really intrigued and really saw the potential of this technology. Being leading innovator as myself and everyone globally, I saw that blockchain technology could actually disrupt and innovate on the banking, fintech, and payment and money itself. And therefore, I decided that the best time to do and get our hands dirty is to actually do it. So therefore, I left my job in the banking sector and traditional startup. I went into building startups and product in the crypto Web3 space itself. That was back in 2018. Being a software engineer and a product manager, as I mentioned, it gave me a lot of benefits and understanding on the technology itself. Therefore, I get my hands dirty. I write programs. I configure mining software for like Ethereum back 10 years ago and so forth, right? Been in the industry ever since. And of course, during this journey, there's a lot of learnings, mistakes, hiring, building startups, building products with the team and the industry. And over the years, since 2018, I think it's like 7 years now. I consider myself to be an OG in this space, somebody who has seasoned and somebody who actually have hands-on experience with the industry and learn from it, right? So with that, today, after building many iterations of crypto to DeFi and then to right now crypto and AI within the Web3 space itself, I kind of understand, right, what it takes to bring MAIGA to the next level. And so yeah, today glad to be here to have a chat about me and the industry.
Cool. Yeah. Right. Very nice. Sounds like you had to work in both Web2 and Web3 and across very different sector. So when you were at bank, what did you do at the bank? What was your role back then?
Oh yeah, I was a product and innovation lead within the technology and operation within the bank. And of course, in the bank itself, there are many, many departments, right? There's actually
Yeah.
trading, there's consumer, there is for business, there is for SMBs. And of course, I'm part of the department that actually does technology and operation, which is the internal part of the bank. In that segment, right, there's also many, many different departments, but I'm in charge of the product and innovation within the bank. Of course, it's huge global, but we're in charge of one area.
I see.
So what I do within the bank is actually to create and test out cool innovation things. During back in the days, right, we are playing with like Snapchat, we are playing with like WeChat, we are playing with WhatsApp, and even Facebook ads and Twitter ads, right, back in the days. That was like more than 10 years ago. And that
Yeah.
gave me the first insight about all this new technology that is created and useful for the bank itself.
So basically, you're building innovation, new products for internal usage, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, and for customers too. Imagine as a customer, last time the website was barely basic, right? And today, if you look at all the apps on the mobile phone, those are the cumulative years of experience within the bank building apps. And today, you can use online banking on the app. So it's easy, right? But 10 years ago, it was not the case. It was just like website and so forth.
That's true. Yeah. I think. Oh, that's interesting. And then you said in 2018 you went full time into like crypto, right? What were some of the first products or projects that you built?
So my journey into Web3 or crypto and blockchain back then, right? It was not even called as Web3 back then. People are talking about mining crypto, right?
Yeah.
During the days, people are talking about like smart contract, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin, EOS, Dogecoin, and so forth. Those were the days, right? But yeah, I was really literally playing with the blockchain and the mining itself via Ethereum. So we actually connect our computer to the Ethereum network, configuring like gas mining and mining software to try to understand about like how to set up wallet, what is private keys, and all of that, right, on the chain itself using a computer, right? And of course, graphics card, a GPU. Back in the day, Ethereum was still proof of work. So we did that. And then after that, as I mentioned, try to understand everything about the tech from the bottom up. During back then, the ideas was, wow, it's not like now, right? It's just the industry evolve and change as well. Building back this is really, really innovative, right? Everyone is looking at the technology, it's just changing how we anticipate the world to be. The startup that I actually built in 2018 was a data analytics with machine learning startup back in the days. Of course, we pivoted away from it, but the startup is very simple. We actually look at the crypto exchanges data, we look at the Twitter and Telegram data and analyze it with sentiment analysis with machine learning. And we train those data, we were to give predictive data analysis to the users, traders, and so forth. So yeah, essentially that was the one we are doing. We are capturing data from many, many places, right? Exchanges, smart contract, and so forth. And we actually have that ready. We even get the machine learning to actually understand and read all these news from different threads, different places, and we analyze that news with machine learning to give sentiment analysis, right, about the news, right, whether the news is impactful for users and so forth, right. We did that as well. So, but my first actual foray into the crypto is actually building machine learning, data analytics software for the crypto industry. So yeah, I did that for like almost 2.5 years. Before I go into my second startup during that DeFi back in year 2020.
Nice. So yeah, so you're building like a crypto analytics startup, and now I think we know that there's like multiple different analytics companies like that, right? Yeah, website. I think Dune is like one of the place where you can like do query and analytics, right? Okay. Interesting. What were some of the learnings back then? Like what did you realize? Like what worked out and what didn't really work out?
I think it's a bit of timing. During back then, there's much more analytics startup as well that today nobody is talking about. Today people are talking about Dune, they're talking about Kaito, they're talking about Nansen, the latest data analytics startup. But during back then, there's much more. I'm not sure whether you heard before. There's another one called Masari. A few more. Those doesn't even actually.
I think Masari is still around.
Yeah. They are one of the big ones. But there are much more actually around our age, around time, right? Also failed and didn't manage to get the traction. I think one of the key part is that during our learning was that we are a little bit too early. Right now, people actually look at doing analytics, look at bubble maps, look at different analytics tools to understand the wallet, the smart contract data, and so forth, right? But during back then, when we show this data to many of the investors and the users, they were saying that nobody's going to pay for the data, which is true. It's actually kind of true as well. You need to figure out a way to monetize it. And unfortunately, we did not manage to successfully monetize. And monetizing in crypto is actually not an easy thing to do. But it was essential to run as a startup in business. If you are unable to monetize whatever they're doing, right, they are struggling. And that's why we actually had to pivot back in 2020 for this reason. So one of the biggest lessons learned is that whatever we have built, if we are unable to find those relevant customers that pay us, it doesn't mean anything. We actually have users, traders, and analysts and researchers, even from Binance using our product. I know it because the customer was working in Binance as a friend, and he was telling me that, hey, your software is really, really great. We actually use it regularly to look at all this data. But when it comes to actually building a startup, you have to ask, like, hey, are you going to pay for my software, right? Otherwise, I have to figure out a way to survive, right? But we did not manage to do so. And that is actually where we have to pivot.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's a very interesting topic. We probably can deep dive into that part a bit later because I know that in Web3, like most people don't kind of, I feel like a lot of companies are kind of ignoring the part about like how to generate revenues, right? And making, it's just like similar Web2 company, right? You need to, I guess, make revenue to survive, right? You can't rely on whatever other alternative source of revenue in Web3, which is like, I guess, like TGE technology, but that's not really the way to survive, I would say. Interesting. And then you said you pivot into a second startup, right? DeFi. What did you build back then?
So we actually saw that, and DeFi was a growing segment within Web3, and it's just a light bulb moment, right? The same thing I have today with MAIGA. So before that, 4 years ago, I saw that, hey, DeFi for the first time created a use case for smart contract and token on chain. Prior to DeFi, everybody is just mining crypto and depositing to the exchange and do trading on the exchange. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that was the use case of crypto. That for normal users, they just need to buy this coin and then hold it, thinking it's the future, or then they just deposit into exchange rate. There's not much use case of the token itself or the cryptocurrency itself, except for mining and create money, right? Until we saw DeFi, then really for the first time, that users, developers, and people who actually do stuff can actually do on a smart contract, which is what blockchain technology is about. You want to create the programmatic, permissionless finance on chain, right? And that is what drives me to crypto. How do you create an efficient, more transparent way to bring banking or money online, right? And of course, there are many, many categories now. Like for example, stablecoin is actually one of the category that, people use stablecoin to do P2P or global transfer rather than Bitcoin, right? So the narrative has evolved as well, but smart contract was the first one, right, to actually create use case for DeFi. And we saw that very early in 2020. We saw that and I'm like, wow, I was telling my co-founder and my investors, we need to pivot. We can keep on building data analytics, or we can just pivot to what the market needs, and that was trending. And we did that. That was what we did. And surprisingly, so that is why cumulative years of experience until today, right? It's just that with that idea, I know what to do. I've been doing it for a while. Then after that, I just decided to pivot and we started to raise money. And of course, being a bull market, as you know, right, it's very easy to raise back then. So once you raise money and then you launch a token, miraculously the token just pump because everybody want to buy, it's the latest thing. And then we're like, wow, okay, now the startup has money, right? Okay, great. Now we have to build the DeFi. So we did that back in 4 years ago in 2020, 2021 was bull market. We just built the right stuff. We hired the right people. I mean, of course, also learning experience. We hired too fast. At the peak, right, we are like more than 25 people working on our startup, like, 2 different product manager, a bunch of software engineer. Yeah, because we want to build. We are builders, right? But again, that is also the mistake that I've learned. Like, we need to generate revenue. We are not generating revenue yet, but we build so fast, we spend all the money that investors gave it to us, and that from the token launch and so forth. Within 1.5 years, that is again the failure. Because we raised so much money, we built it, we didn't manage to monetize yet, but we are building and paying. As you know, back then the engineer cost is very expensive, but we did the same thing. We didn't raise 100 million. We just raised 1 to 2 million, which is great for early stage startup. We did that and we are making money, right? And then we have the money and then we have to build. So, and then the realization come to us now that the realization is that during the DeFi summer, it was great until when it comes to monetization, many of the startups are unable to monetize, and therefore the DeFi fail again, right? But it comes with the experience. I managed to raise the money. I understand actually how to talk to investors, manage investors' expectation. On top of that, we managed to launch token successfully. I know what actually token is needed, why the token, a lot of people pump and dump and so forth. What is the actual thing that token needs from the community, from the builders, and all these things, right? And of course, how to build an actual DeFi product and actual on-chain, right, during back then. So yeah, from the experience, right, yeah. So we managed to raise money, but the startup is actually building a pure DeFi ETF manager. Essentially similar to what BlackRock is doing today, but it's on centralized. We build it on smart contract decentralized. So effectively from the user point of view, they can just interact with our startup, with our smart contract, and everything is on chain permissionlessly. We cannot even touch the money. So which is great because it's pure DeFi. But again, many, many lessons learned as well. Apparently, for retail customers' perspective, they don't really care so much about the ETF. as long as the token price goes up. So that is actually one of the things that I've learned along building, despite raise money, about what the actual customers really need. And from there, of course, today as well.
Fascinating. Wow. So you began like 2 companies. There are a lot of lessons there, and then, but yeah, I mean, like certainly there was a lot of things, and that's fascinating. Yeah, we'll probably circle back to some of those topics later on in the show because I'm actually also curious as well. Yeah, and then one more fun question before we begin deep diving into your current company, MAIGA. Yeah, can you share with us what do you do for fun? What is your hobby outside of Web3?
I like to travel, and I like to meet friends, and like when I'm traveling, I like to walk and explore the cities. I like to just try foods, different foods, and like different cuisine right around the world. So during these many years, right, although I'm currently based in Southeast Asia, but I did travel to like Europe. I've been to Middle East. I went to like China, Hong Kong, Korea, and of course even in US as well, Denver, New York, San Francisco. I mean, of course, when I go there, it's not really for traveling; it's just business. Talk with other developers, founders, conference, and I also enjoy my time to meet friends, and get to know more new culture, new people, new cities, and that is actually what I enjoy the most. And I think that is also important, not just from a personal and startup perspective. It opened my eye. Like a lot of people will be like assuming that, hey, everybody just want to be successful and make money. But if you go and travel to meet different people, different culture, and talk to different people, you'll be surprised, right, that things are different from everybody's perspective. And I'm glad I did that. I have friends around the world, literally around the world, from like UK, from Europe, from Bay Area, from New York, and everywhere, right? And I'm glad for all of these things that I did, and I'm appreciative that I have this opportunity to do so.
That sounds great. So you've been to many countries. You say you've been to over 50 countries in the time?
Less than that.
Less than that, okay.
Many cities though, of course. Many cities.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah, I find that a lot of Web3 users are also very eager, right? And explorative, like they explore new things as well. I find that that's kind of go well with like Web3 because Web3 you're like learning new things, right? It's like always every day, almost like every topics, new teams come up and then you have to learn. So makes sense. Cool. Yeah. So without further ado, let's go ahead and deep dive into your current company, MAIGA. Feel free to share any presentation, website, or deck that you have, and then let's talk about it. Or feel free to walk us through some of the history as well. That would be how you found it. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. But as I share my screen, I can walk through it.
Sure.
So as I mentioned from previous conversation about the DeFi startup, I've launched token before, I've raised money before, I have managed a team before with actual, not a lot, but sufficient money to build for a normal funded startup, early stage startup. A lot of investors actually make some money because of the token launch. It was a successful token launch. Because it was bull market, we do the right things. I guess myself, I'm very fortunate being able on the position, right? That our token went up 50x on day one because it was really, really good, right? It was early. And all our investors make money. So I'm appreciative of their support and of course all the community who joined us during the journey. But along the way, as I mentioned, right, then I realized, right, there is like a cycle, a moment within the whole crypto space. Of course, some of them managed to succeed and be there, right? For example, like Solana, Binance, those are one or two examples, right, where they're successful startup and today they are multi-billion dollar protocol or business, right? But we have been doing DeFi for a long time. So we understand the actual thing being building on smart contract, on different chain, on the infra, on the integration and so forth. And at the end of last year, we are still building it until today, right? Because we really enjoy being part of this process, right? We're able to build. Of course, we need to make money as a business and so forth, right? Which is the revenue generation that we're talking about. At the end of last year, we saw the meme coin craze as well last year. But we realized that we are not here just to gamble, right? So we decided to continue to build. And at the end of last year and beginning of the year, when the whole AI agent and the AI movement get crazy on crypto, suddenly we saw the opportunity, which is the AI agent for DeFi, right? DeFi. So we pronounce as like decentralized finance with AI, right? So DeFi. So what does the AI agent for DeFi means? Until today, for normal regular users who are not really an expert in navigating all of these transactions on chain, using DeFi is actually quite complicated because you need to have gas fees like many across different chain, And then on top of that, right, the catch is that then you need to actually able to pay to do so. And during this process, if you are not really familiar with like the sandwich board or sniping or impermanent loss, all of this, right, it's actually quite challenging for new users. And a lot of intermediaries in between, right, they just extract value, right? You want to create an easy access for the normal users or people who are actually not really expert. I'm talking about just even beginner and the normal people and somebody who have, just buy some meme coins before. For them to actually experience all the things that DeFi have to offer, it's actually very complicated until today. And generally, that's why everybody just buy crypto on Coinbase or on Binance and so forth, because it's actually complicated. And to do so, you need to be able to simplify all this process. And the AI agent for DeFi just makes sense. Why? In the future, if the AI agent able to help you to do so, best, great. Then I do not need to go and look at the gas fees. I do not need to understand about how do I move my money from one chain to another chain. I do not need to understand that somebody will actually help me and take my money away. The AI agent would be able to assist me like a personal assistant on the blockchain itself. It just fits perfectly of what we understand about DeFi. And we believe that having this AI agent, which is getting better and better for operating on crypto and DeFi, is just the next move for DeFi. There's a lot of different DeFi being built on chain. There are so many tools being built as well. So we believe AI agent on top of DeFi is going to bring this to the next level. And that's how we actually have that inspiration, right, to do it for MAIGA. So what does, a little bit on the name, we also understand, as I mentioned, right, about the market and consumer. And that is also the name MAIGA. We want to be a little bit cheeky, right? It's easier to sell. Make AI great again. Make AI great again. Similar to how Donald
Yeah.
Trump market MAGA. We
Yeah.
just want to make AI great again. MAGA, right? So MAGA, essentially, we are building AI agent for DeFi with ZK proof. ZK proof is the privacy for the transaction. But how do we start? We anticipate that the AI is not just only for crypto because it doesn't make sense. I'm a user. If you look at from the user point of view, it's not about the most awesome, advanced, world-class, crazy tech that everybody talk about. What you want to do is to create a product that is useful for your users. And who are the users? The users, as I mentioned, people who have beginner and basic information about how to operate on DeFi, how to actually buy meme coins, how do they arbitrage between different coins and so forth. And that's why, my God, we want to create AI-powered signal and automated trading for DeFi and ZK Proof. You see, we did not come here to create an AI agent that is very sophisticated to use. Then again, it defeats the purpose, right, of why we want to create an AI agent. Our AI agent is so simple. If you go to the website today, you just join our AI agent on Telegram, and then you will be able to experience the AI agent itself. It's very simple. It's very easy to use. You just chat with the AI agent. And of course, continuing on that, we are also solid startup by solid team. We are backed by the world-class investors of Amber Group, which is a publicly listed company in New York. We have Very Big Ventures, which is actually a great Web3 VC based in US. IBC Ventures based in Middle East, Dubai, which understand what we are trying to do. Techstars, Chainlink, and more. Yeah, as I mentioned, what is MAIGA really do? Imagine AI agent, which is ChatGPT similar to that, operating behalf of the user with ZK privacy so that your transaction is private and with DeFi aggregator. As I mentioned, having the AI agent to give you the right signal so that you can operate on the DeFi, aggregating all of that without the users to understand how the technology works. That is what MAIGA is all about. So to explain it, so all the AI agent with ZK privacy is to keep all the data private. So any portfolio, any strategy from the user is just operated on the AI agent itself. So that from a normal user's perspective, they do not leak, they will not have all this private information leaked, right? That is very important. And then all of this decision done by the AI agent is actually rule compliant, so you can audit it and verifiable on chain. And then from the AI power signal with the aggregation and automated trading for DeFi. To go one step to explain like how the current DeFi works, right? Essentially, there's current process now. From a normal beginner user point of view, they need to download the wallet. They need to set up the wallet. They need to understand the safe phrase and the private key. They need to write it somewhere. And generally, people just copy it. And then you have to determine which chain you use. Solana, BNB chain, Ethereum, many different chains. And then you need to deposit the random gas fees and get USDT from somewhere. Again, you have to figure out where to get. And then you need to find the right information, how to trade. And then you need to go and listen to all these different trading gurus and so forth to get all the right information and for you to actually tell you what to do and buy the DeFi or trade. And then you look at all this chart, right? You want to know whether you're profitable or not. You want to look at the chart, you look at who is buying and so forth. You need to understand all of this, right? And then you need to buy it. You need to find the best price. Then you trade or you stake or you go and earn. You do whatever thing on DeFi. But again, you also worry that if you buy, you forgot to sell. What if something happened? If you are lucky, then you make money. And then you will continue to repeat the process, right? And praying that you do not screw up anything in between. That is what current DeFi is. Can you imagine that we have to explain it to all our cousins, right, and our parents about this? How AI agent DeFi works? Create a wallet on our MAIGA AI agent, which is connected by a Telegram bot. The AI will ask you some couple of questions, whatever you want you to do. Like, hey, give me analysis on the BTC price today. You just give you the information, and then we just deploy for you, and you run, and then give you regular updates, have you to take profit and so forth. Essentially, right, this is the future. You reduce all the steps, you automate all this process. An AI agent, unbiasedly, could actually help you to execute without you worrying so much about all of these details. As I mentioned, back to the most important part of what MAIGA is. What does the actual user want, right? We are not here just to sell a technology. We are here to sell a solution to the customers and users. So from a Web3 users, traders, and speculators, which is generally all the retail in the crypto space, a lot of people who are in the space, they are looking for alphas. People trading meme coins, people buying specific coins. Why? Because they want to get profit, they want to do stuff with it, right? So therefore, having the machine learning to use statistical analysis, reinforced learning, capturing all these data point on chain. Remember I was saying that we have built data analytics before? You understand how to build that? And then understand the sentiment analysis from the KOL, from the Twitter, from the mindshare, and so forth, and then give all this information to the AI agent, and the AI agent able to give you an even more accurate answer for all of these different signal and different AI agent information to feed it to the user. And a lot of users also want to make money fast. That is actually true, right? Nobody want to put in money and hopefully they'll get like 2% a year from the bank, right? That's not why people come into crypto and DeFi. So that again, that is what the user want from the market. So because of that, you need to have automation so that the AI agent will be able to one click and help you automate and execute all this. Right now, there's actually tools doing that, but it's just manual, right? You need to automate and set up all these different kind of bots and so forth. The AI agent will help you to do that in the future, right? And of course, privacy. All these AI models, right, relies on the proprietary strategies, right? So that, for institutional funds in the future, you need to have that. So with this process, right, we could actually able to get into more regulated, bigger, not only targeting retail users, but even B2B institution and funds, right, could be able to use our AI agent to have them to do automate and do trading as well. Yeah, so effectively, MAIGA, to explain how it works, is essentially MAIGA is a protocol layer in the middle. We are the aggregator. With the AI agent, with ZK-proof privacy, and we have the launchpad with our most innovative idea, which is called proof of trading. Proof of trading is our token model that I'll explain a little bit more, that differentiate us with everybody else in the market. And of course, as I mentioned, because we aggregate all of these different tools, different DeFi frameworks, different APIs, on-off ramps, data, machine learning, different third-party ecosystem, different bots integration, wallet integration. So you can see from here, we are not here just to build the best AI agent. We're going to make it useful. But we cannot be building everything. We are just a startup. So what's the best way to do? Using what Web3 is good at, which is to integrate with different smart contract, different API, different solutions. And through that, MAIGA could be the interface and distribution channel for all of these different DeFi solutions, trading data for the AI agent, for the normal users. And that is actually what we want to solve. We want to create an experience and easy to use solution AI agent for the users. And that is actually why we have traction. You see, right? You can keep on building, but nobody uses the software is useless. And that is why MAIGA XPT, which is our AI agent on Telegram, is packing a lot of traction. This one was like a few days ago. We already achieved more than 25,000 organic users on our Telegram, people who come in and actually do that. We have 26,000. I think today we have more than 30,000 in like 7 weeks, right? Less than 2 months. And we did not do any big marketing yet, right? And of course, we are growing 20% weekly, week over week. And not only that, on Grow, you are asking, is actually people using it? All these are on chain. We have more than 2.5 K daily, 2,500 on average, right? Daily active users. And we process more than 130,000 transactions in like 6 weeks, right? So the volume on chain speaks for itself. The users are coming back to do stuff with MAIGA XBT AI agent for their DeFi and crypto trading. Yeah, so I'll just pause here first. You could ask me any questions you want, but just to explain a bit more on the MAIGA and so forth.
Yeah. So I mean, I think you can touch on multiple topics over there. I think one is like curious about like the proof of trading. What's the purpose of that, and how does that tie in?
Yeah.
What's it useful?
Continue as well. We are the
Sure.
first prize winner. Again, from Traction, we are the first prize winner of CDFI AI Agent Hackathon. There are more than 160 AI agent startups who applied. We got the first prize. So our team is very happy and proud of this because we are a winner, right? So our solution is not just a product, right? We actually won a hackathon and first prize, right? And it's actually very proud for us, right? At the moment because we won it. Yeah, so proof of trading. What does proof of trading do and why is this important? Proof of trading is actually the first token in the model in the world that again comes from my experience of looking how the token evolved over the years. It will solve all the token issue in the market today. And that is actually one of the most important aspects on MAIGA and what we are trying to do. You see, to give that little bit of historical background on like what does proof of trading means. You see, Bitcoin started with something called proof of work. You essentially have your computer or ASICs mining machine set up to connect to the Bitcoin network. You use your electricity costs, your gas fees and electricity fees to mine for the Bitcoin using the mining machine to solve the crypto algorithm problem. That's why it's called cryptocurrency. After you mine it successfully, if you're part of it, if you successfully mine it, then you get the reward, which is the Bitcoin, BTC, right? And of course, it halves every 4 years. But essentially the cost for securing the network, to be part of the network, you need to spend your cost of energy, electricity cost to mine for Bitcoin. And then Ethereum championed the latest proof of stake. You need to have like 32 ETH staking into the Ethereum network. And then because you have already 32 ETH staking there, then you get yield. And then you're part of the network, you validate and secure the network. That is proof of stake. Then there was something called proof of liquidity that was championed by a new chain called Barra chain recently, that you need to deploy liquidity, right? Like new tokens in there, staking and securing the network, and therefore you are part of the ecosystem giving your resources, which is liquidity to the network for the network to bootstrap to continue to grow. For MAIGA, we are the first one to use trading volume and trading in part of our network. So that is why proof of trading. Instead of using electricity costs, staking Ethereum, for us, it's just trading. Anybody, including users, traders, market makers, bots, arbitragers, anybody who are actually trading our token is going to create value for the token holders. Why? One of the biggest problems in the market today is everybody get a token and they just dump. And then nobody will hold because they're worried that the token is worthless. For proof of trading, all the token will only be released in the circulation over trading volume. The more trading volume grows, the better you expand and release the token in the market. And if, whatever reason, there's a bear market, if the trading volume goes down, again, then the release of the MAIGA token into the market, into the circulation is going to be reduced. So the whole circulation of the token itself is based on this concept of proof of trading. The more the trading volume goes up, the more people contribute the volume to this token, you increase more token in circulation. And if it goes down, if the volume goes down, the circulation will also slow down. And therefore, right, the token itself is responsive to the market condition. And currently, no token in the world does that. Even Bitcoin is all about just spending money to mine it so that you flood in the market. For us, proof of trading solve all the token in the world today, and we are the first one that uses this to innovate upon all the token model that is having problems in the world today.
So there's some sort of like history or something that linked to the user, I guess.
Sort of that. But the most important thing is that I always ask this question to many people, right? Imagine that you're a token holder for a project today. Any token, right? Doesn't matter, right? Could be memes, could be any project. If you're holding token today, if you know that tomorrow there's an unlock, whatever reason, maybe the VC is unlocked, maybe their team unlocked, whatever reason, or foundation unlocked. If you hold a token today and tomorrow there's unlocked, guess what I will do today? I'm holding a token, tomorrow there's unlocked, guess what I'll do today? The general response is actually 100%. I've spoken with more than 200 people today, more than 200 people. 100% of the response is everybody will just sell. There's no reason for people to hold because they will say the market psychology is what's the reason for me to hold when somebody's going to sell tomorrow? That is actually what happening in the world today. That is also the reason why people are just blaming the VCs and blaming the meme tokens. But the reason is because why should I hold when everybody's going to sell? And so that actually goes into the second problem. If everybody is going to sell, then who's going to buy? That is why all the token is just down running and nobody has confidence in the Web3 space. It's not because of the blockchain, it's not because of the builders. It's just because people saw this and saw and say that I'm not going to hold, I'll just sell. And if that is the case, right, how would the project would be able to actually incentivize the community with the token? Because anybody who get the token will just sell. And that is the reason with all the failures and the token broken in the market today. As I mentioned, all the tokens in launch today, right, just for exception, maybe Bitcoin, even Ethereum are just down only. Even to that certain extent, right, the number two token on the world today is still having the same problem. They need to solve that, of course, they are the big one. But for a newer project, how are you going to solve that? Because you want to get the community to believe and trust you. But if some people are selling due to whatever reason, they're just going to affect the project. It has nothing to do with the project because people are selling. So how do we solve the problem? You solve the problem by having a token that is responsive to the trading volume, to the market condition. If the team does well to increase the trading volume of the token, how do we do it? AI agent. Because the AI agent is useful, people will pay for it. And they just pay with the token, therefore creating the demand for the token. And with that, then the price is going to stabilize. And when we respond to the market, the more demand, you increase more. If whatever reason the market is down, nobody wants to use it anymore, then the token also reduced. And therefore responsive to the market and create the engagement for the community. So the community could have trust that the proof of trading is not a token that people will hold and sell and dump. This token has a use case and is responsive to the market and it's called proof of trading.
I see. Interesting. So basically, what you're saying is that a token can actually respond based on market situation. As it changes, and then it will it like shrink the supply or something? It's not right.
It will reduce the unlock because everything is based on everybody who have a token, right? The company have the token, the team have the token, and then the air carrier have the token, but they cannot dump, they cannot sell. So it will release based on trading volume. If the trading volume reduced, then the release slows down so that you actually respond to the market condition of the token.
I see. So basically, in as opposed to like a linear unlock for typical token vesting, right? Then you would just say reduce even some of the vesting for some of the people that were supposed to get unlocked.
Yes. So the word for it, right, is that time-based token unlock or time-based token model is a broken model because it's a sell-only event on TG. People will just sell whenever there's unlock and nobody will buy because of the reason. Proof of trading solve all the problem. You just respond to the market situation, which is the KPI, trading volume. And that is going to solve how people perceive the token in the world today. That is why we believe having the proof of trading with the useful MAIGA AI agent is just a hand in hand. And again, one more thing even to that, right? I'll just even answer that. How do we make money? Remember, we were saying that, hey, for protocol, we need to make money and revenue, right? Our revenue comes from trading volume and transactions. Similar to some of the tokens and some of the project, like even exchange. It's all based on transaction, right? Your trading volume. As long as there's trading volume and transaction happening on our AI agent and our token, the protocol is sustainable. Then we will make money as a business. And when we have the revenue, Do we need to sell a token? We do not need to sell a token. We can have revenue. And that is very important. Remember we started the conversation today, we were saying that, hey, how is this all this business of Web3 trying to make money? If you cannot make money, then how you want to continue to build? There we go. I already solved and killed 3 birds with 1 stone. We have a sustainable token model with proof of trading that is actually based on trading volume and is responsive to the market. Number 2, we solve the revenue problem because with proof of trading, you generate revenue and transaction from the trading fees, from the bot trading, from the AI agent who are trading via our token. Number 2. Number 3, we actually champion and create a useful AI agent for the users, right, to be able to act on the crypto and DeFi. That's why we believe that. That's why I'm very, very bullish at what we are doing because of this reason.
I see. Yeah. Cool. Can you talk a bit more about how it works for the typical user? I think you were saying in the beginning, like user is very new to DeFi, right? People who don't know much about like AI or even Web3 for that matter, and then how would they be able to use this?
Let me see whether I actually have the video. Let me stop sharing for now. I want to see whether I actually have the video of the product. Otherwise, it's just going to be I need to share my Telegram actually. I can show it.
I see.
Because the product is working.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, because I think we both know that the current process for like how to onboard people to Web3 can be very lengthy, right? Especially if you don't know much about it, and there's a lot of confusing terms. Like, yeah, so want to know how that's been fixed.
Okay, let me share my screen. Hold on. Okay, I'm sharing my Telegram. So I have a lot of information here. But I just wanted to share this so that we can just go through it. Right? So effectively, once you go to the AI agent, is called MAIGA XBT. And once you have it, and then you'll be able to do stuff with it, right? So what will happen is, you click, when you come in, you just start, you'll be whatever that is created here. And then you can ask questions, right? Hey, MAIGA, what do you think of BTC? So you understand what I'm trying to say. You just go to the back end, trying to understand what is actually BTC is about, and give me the analysis. If you look at here, you just read my understanding of what BTC means. You just query the information from our backend, from different data source, give us trading indicator. BTC is currently experiencing a neutral market sentiment. RSI indicator is overbought. Bollinger Band is showing expansion. MACD signal is mixed. Considering a long entry at this, confidence score is a solid 7 out of 10. So yeah, maybe I can use this information to trade. As I mentioned, creating something useful. So I click agree. You just let me know whether I win or not in the next hour. So essentially, right, we are collecting all of this data from the user behavior and get the users to use this information for their trading need and so forth. So it's very simple. We can even do much more with it. For example, I can create a wallet. Yeah, this is my wallet address within the AI agent. And of course, we can analyze different stuff. Yeah, let's analyze, let's say, Solana. So you just analyze Solana because there's a question mark. What do you think of Solana? Same thing, you try to understand what I mean by Sol and then generate the information. Same thing again. Solana is showing neutral sentiment now. All this information, confidence score 7. I'll just agree. So effectively, what I just did, I already interacting with the AI agent. The AI agent give me all the trading indicators that I need to do so that all of this information is recorded and I get something useful out of them. But after that, what will happen is we will do automation in the future to create an automation here whereby the users could actually get the AI agent to trade for them on chain and on centralized exchange. And therefore, fulfilling what we are talking about. Having all of these different data, useful information for the users, traders, and speculators to use the AI agent to automate their trading or whatever they need to do on chain and for centralized exchange. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, makes sense. So then does user need to create is it a custodial wallet with that, and then they will just handle for you?
We are using MPC wallet, which is a multi-purpose wallet that is actually used by tier one projects, including all these regulated regulated entities in the world today. MPC wallet is a custodial grade, right, that is used by all the giants in the world, and it's safe. MPC wallet is actually a technology so that people could actually segregate and separate all their private key, so it will not be hacked, right? Yeah, so we are using that technology, so it's safe. The AI agent will operate without actually the user advice, because the user need to approve it. Otherwise, you don't want the AI agent to get crazy. But yes, so it's going to be safe, secure, and using MPC wallet architecture.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I've heard about MPC battery. I think it's quite secure, relatively secure compared to other wallet model, because you don't actually like multi-party computation, right? You need multiple shards. Like I think the simple idea that need multiple shards together and then forward, but you never actually have the complete key. It's just like you need it to like sign. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Cool. So which chains is this working on? Like the agents running on?
Currently we are live on BNB chain. That is why it's on chain, right? BNB chain. I think based on the latest data we have, I think definitely more than 30,000 users as of today.
Okay, interesting. And then yeah, and you were saying earlier, right? I mean, revenues. I think this is a topic that's pretty important in Web3 also. You're saying that revenue is like something that most protocol kind of don't really look for, right? Try to emphasize like how are you solving that? Like what is your business model here?
Our revenue model is based on transaction and trading volume. So therefore, having proof of trading, as I mentioned just now, that is based on trading volume, and the AI agent that actually operate on behalf of the user and will take a transaction fees of 1%, right, from the AI agent. So the AI agent help you to do stuff, and then if you make money, we just take 1% from the transaction. So that is actually our revenue model transaction. And then from the trading volume of our token creates the trading volume and the fees generated from that. And you actually make money from that, right? So our revenue model is very sustainable. It's not something that, hey, you force people to pay. If you use our software, you think the software, if you think our AI agent is valuable, then you can use it. And then we make money from the transaction fees, right? And the trading revenue from our token. So that is actually very sustainable. And that is why the token is called proof of trading and based on trading volume. The one thing that a lot of projects who have not successfully launched a token before, they don't understand is for a token to be successful, you need the token to be sustainable and trading volume. You need to have organic trading volume. Anybody who have launched a token before or exchanges or market makers will tell you, if you have more than 5 million US dollar worth of trading volume organically on centralized or decentralized exchange daily basis, you make money because it's organic. If people trade on it, you make fees from the token itself. And remember this, the key part is organic. If you have that, then the protocol is going to be sustainable. And that is actually very important because otherwise a lot of projects will just need to sell their token. And it makes no sense because you sell the token price down, the community revenue. And having a sustainable token volume and without people dumping on the token price, the community is going to be very happy and confident that this token will be able to do well. Because yes, the token price is not a pump and dump model. And because of that, it's sustainable. And again, answering the question right, that's how I make money because it's sustainable. It's sustainable. We just need to create use case for the AI agent, create a useful product, create more integration, create a better AI agent. More people will use it, and therefore use more token, use more transaction, and therefore we'll make even more money. Right? That's how we grow.
Yeah, makes sense. And then so need to generate that. But I think the organic demand or the organic trading volume come from like the real use case for it, right? Or something. I guess it depends on the token as well, right?
Overall, you need to have the token as well, but the AI agent needs to be useful. Because if it's just an AI agent that speak nonsense on Twitter, then nobody care. That's why the AI agent need to be useful. That is why we're building a useful AI agent that get people to solve people's problems. We have to finalize between choosing the few chains that we talking with. I think there are two main reasons for BNB chain. One, we really get a lot of support from the BNB chain team. Kudos to them. They really help us a lot, introduce us, give us feedback, give us support. And recently, because of BNB, actually have a lot of organic traction and volume as well. We feel that the BNB chain is actually more suitable to us, to our users. And the last part is because our team is also familiar with building an EVM-based or Solidity-based smart contract. We have been building, remember I was saying we have been building DeFi for the last 4 years. Doesn't mean that we cannot build on base, but because of the support that we get from BNB chain, we realized that, hey, why don't we actually go where the support is, right? Which is BNB chain.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think that's pretty important from a builder perspective, right? If you have like support, especially good support, because it's probably quite rare. Yeah, I would
Yep.
say. Then certainly, make it stick better. So, could you say a bit? So, sounds like things are going well. What do you consider to be like the challenges facing your team?
I think we have a lot of great stuff, but of course, there are stuff that we never really publicly announced. But I can share some of the learnings and some of the things that we have facing. I think one of the key part that we have been doing for a long time, so we managed to get toward this right because we are seasoned entrepreneur now. The market is actually very very challenging for a lot of different players. In fact, I spoke with another investor today. He was saying that many of the startup that he was talking with has already shut down recently. It's just because the market is really brutal. So if you ask me, the biggest challenge, one of the things that we have to do is we have to monetize our AI agent ASAP. And we already have a plan. We will actually intend to get the monetization plan by next month to kickstart. We have the transaction volume, right? We have the activity on the AI agent, but we have no monetizing yet. So I think next month, once we start monetizing, we will actually have a sustainable revenue from there. Of course, it takes time, but at least, it's something that we need to work on to get the revenue in, right? We have not launched the token yet. So because we have not launched the token yet, we cannot actually get the revenue from the proof of trading, right? But from the transaction between the AI agent and the users, yes. So we need to monetize that. And that is actually one of the issues faced by a lot of market today, and that's one of the bottleneck that we have. In terms of the development, because of the market condition, we also managed to adjust it. So instead of like very gung-ho, right, to build everything ASAP, we also give us priority to discuss, to decide internally what is the thing that we need to focus on to build for the next 1 month. Instead of planning for the next 12, 24 months, right, now we are operating like any other startup in this market, which is a little bit of like a volatile and bearish, turning bullish. So we need to be prepared for the token launch soon. But in the meantime, we also want to build the right things at the right time so that we're able to execute like a very agile startup, right? So that we can actually get through it. So that is one of the biggest challenge we face today, which is market condition. But we can't control it. So we can only adapt to it, right? In terms of like the other stuff, is just, of course, we hope that we can get more support from the investors, the partners, the communities, and so forth. And that is going to bring us to the next level, right? And that is why today I'm appreciative of having, chatting with you today, Lam, to have all of this. Thank you.
Nice, I see. Yeah, I'm sure that building a Web3 project is never easy, and it's always a rough road with many challenges facing ahead. Yeah, that's would you say that? So I know that recently, right? I think we go in like the crypto Twitter and over else many other news. So there's a lot of AI agents like been popping up right everywhere. So I was just kind of curious, like how do you how would you distinguish like your project from the many other AI agent? I think what is it, like virtual AI XVT? There's so many different types, right? To be honest, I'm not even exactly sure like what some of them do. I think some of them like just talk on Twitter and like that. But yeah, you can shed some light on that.
There are a lot of AI agent out there. But most of the AI agent right now is just, of course, I didn't keep track of everything. A lot of the AI agent are just ChatGPT rapper on Twitter. They just chat, give comments, but it's obvious now, right? You go and saw all this, right? Nobody care about them anymore because it's just a chatter wrapped in a ChatGPT. And that's not what we want. As I mentioned, right? The most important thing is that we need to do is to solve and give that actual useful AI agent for the traders. We are very specific on that. We are not here just to create an AI agent that, have solve everything. We are not. So because of that, it gives us clarity. Okay, because in our team also we actually trade once in a while, and then we actually, we also a little bit degen, right? We also buy some meme coins. So we understand what actually traders and speculators want, which is us ourselves essentially, right? And having the AI agent to help us to do trading automated and of course give us the information that we need so that we can validate our trade to help us to do trade that is useful. And that people will need that. And a lot of people are trading. So effectively, if you ever have a tool to give them that information, right? Yeah, people use it. And then people will find value in it. And then with that, we create actual user engagement and stickiness, right? And so that's how we're thinking about it. But there are a lot of AI agent out there, like you said, right? Virtuals are a platform to do many, many things. They have virtual, they have game, they have this and that. And then they have used, last year, there's something called Luna. It's just an enemy AI agent. I'm not sure what is the progress on that now. Then there's an AI activity, which is effectively an AI agent that able to respond to Twitter about what you want. And then they have a terminal as well. Again, that is actually one of our competitor. Another one of our competitor, which is also what we respect when we're going to work with them, is called Hey Anon. So Daniel Siesta and the Hey Anon team is fantastic. The way that they do it is just fast. They're way faster than us. But again, they are doing a lot of different information, a lot of automation within the DeFi space itself. So that's why, as I mentioned, do we want to compete with them? No. Why should we build something that competes with them? We just work with them and use them, right? And then they have the smart contract, they have the API, we just need to work with them, right, to continue to grow. And that create the use case and the solution for our user. So again, I think the differentiator is that we are very, very focused about building what we believe our user needs, which is the trading, the speculators, and people along those lines. And then we want to create useful product for them. With that, I hope that we are able to create sufficient differentiator and user stickiness product for our users, right? And that is actually more important than just, hey, let's build and build and build, right? Which is what a lot of people are doing.
I see. Yeah, I think your main user in this case, like basically traders, right? Like people who are in the trenches and looking at, need some more information. Would you say they like need some information that would supplement the trading activity?
Yeah, because it makes sense, right? As a normal, regular, 24/7 on the trench, you need something to actually help you. And having the AI agent is going to help because it will be something useful, right? The question is, how much will they pay? That's why I say transaction volume, if you have them to make money, they don't mind paying, right? So that's why we're thinking from that perspective. But yeah, so people who actually have the need for trading and finding like the trading opportunity to in the trench, looking at different price chart and stuff, our AI agent able to help them.
Okay, makes sense. But then in the end, like the one who decide the trade is still gonna be the user, right?
At the current stage, yes, the user.
Yeah.
In the future, we want to build some automation as well. Hopefully, that's why the use of the token as well. So the automation is that, hey, if you want to automate, then you just pay via the token, right? You launch your own AI agent. So once you have your own AI agent, the AI agent is able to trade for you, right? And to do so, you need to launch it with MAIGA. And that's why the MAIGA is going to be like a launch pad, the platform for people to interacting with the AI agent. And then we take a cut from the transaction. The automation will be like, hey, create a new wallet, which is why the NPC wallet. So the NPC wallet is going to be used by the AI agent. So not for us. So the AI agent is going to use that wallet to do the trading. So it's going to be automated for that process. They can even input their private keys. They can import, export their wallet. They can link to the exchange and so forth. So the AI agent will be able to help them to do so because it's privacy and then it's decentralized. So it's secure and then of course safe with the NPC wallet. That is in the future, of course, fully automated. But right now, the users need to approve it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, makes sense. And then, just some general question about the future. I'm curious, like how do you envision like AI agents evolve in the future?
Everybody has different, of course, we are venturing into like speculative, right, and what I perceive, right, but of course, open for correction and discussion. I think right now, AI agent is actually at the beginning of what it shows its capabilities is, even in the traditional Web 2 or ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and so forth. It's getting better over time. Even Grok and more like Gemini, Llama, there's so many models out there people are doing, and it's getting better over time, including creating graphics, visual, videos, decision, analysis, news, updates, and so forth. And this is a start. This is just a glimpse of how AI agent could be. In the future, you could even have like the robotic as well with the AI agent. You'll be smarter than the average people, and you'll be exponential to growth as well. So what I anticipate and I see from the AI agent point of view is that I think it will go exponentially. That's number one. We will not be able to comprehend how the AI agent would behave and operate in the next 10 years. That I'm sure of because technology grows exponentially. That's number one. And number two, how would that help on the regular day-to-day basis for the users, with the traders on the Web3 side? It's going to create even more opportunities or dilemma in the future in this space, and where we are building to as well. We believe that AI agent is just going to take over a lot of all these roles that we are doing today in the world today, especially the mundane tasks, and then they will be able to help, right, in that sense. Yeah, but I don't have a crystal ball, but I see how the technology works. As I mentioned, I've been many cycle, and I see that AI agent is going to be the next cycle as well. And this is a start. And it's going to be even crazier in the future. When we look back 5 years from now, we look back at the interview today, we'll be like, wow, it's just crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a very exciting world ahead that we're living in. I don't think anybody has a crystal ball, but yeah. So you were saying that the AI will be able to replace many of the tasks that we do. So curious, like what activities will be left for humans to do in the future?
No, I think, it's a very important question. I think the services type of business is going to be even more precious. Very simple example, right? You could have an assistant doing your legal work, right? You could actually have a researcher to give you a PowerPoint deck 100 pages easily. But cut your hair with a robot, with an AI agent, I'm like, no, right? I will still need somebody to actually help me to, cut my hair like a human or like, the services industry. Those are definitely human because robot will be like slower to take care. And I think certain things are also harder. For example, right, a lot of people say that, oh, they're going to replace lawyer. I doubt so because the law that is done in the world today are actually still done by paperwork, manual, and debate and human discussion. A lawyer will be autonomous or AI agent will able to comprehend or replace some of the manual process. I'm not sure they're going to replace all of that completely. So I think a lawyer will be even getting better over time because of the AI agent. But are they going to replace lawyer? Not so. For the next 5 years, I don't think so. It takes time. Again, you can't replace a doctor yet. You could assist a doctor, right? So being like paperwork, things that could automate with AI, those are going to suffer, right? But services industry, certain things that happen in the real world, it will take more longer. So those are the industries that is going to be even more valuable in the future.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, a lot of creative works, right? I would say like done by lawyers and doctors and even service ties is I guess it's really I'm not exactly sure. Somewhat of it is like repetitive, right? But I guess like robot is probably might not be good at that. But someone's also quite creative as well. So right? I mean I guess it depends on it, right? If you're talking about like haircut is I would say like more like an art, right? Like I mean if you ask like the robot for hey use a scissor to cut the hair, right? I guess it might be able to do it, but is it gonna be good? It's more like so I feel like the creativity and the artistics related or profession that use artistic creativity, right, will probably remain dominant in the future done by human.
Yep.
Cool, makes sense. Yeah, and just two more questions. You'll close the show. One is, do you have any advice if you want to build their own Web3 company?
Of course, being a builder myself, entrepreneur and product manager to have been in the space for long enough, I would say this, right? Web3 have its own, Web3 changes very fast. You need to actually able to have the right motivation to be able to come here. If you're just doing it because it's cool, it's not. Because Web3 is actually one of the hardest industry to build. The changes are so fast, the community and the users are very fickle, but it's also very volatile and very attractive if you know what to do. But if you're doing the right thing, if you wanted to be part of this movement, I think the Web3 is, if you want a great challenge, right, and you're able to take all of this, it's great. But if you just want to build because it's cool, no, because Web3 is no longer cool anymore. It's being regulated, government are looking at it and so forth. But if you're a long-term builder, building in crypto or even crypto in AI, right, is definitely the future, as I mentioned. It's just that for new builders, have the right expectation, and then if you need help, feel free to. I think I'm open for all of this, right? So I'm able to share some of my experiences to some of the new builders, what they need. And I'm a builder myself, right? So I love to help other founders in whatever they're trying to do.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's very sound advice. Yeah, I feel like we do need a lot more long-term builders, right? Instead of just a short-term mindset, was like just come in and like kind of like a tourist just come in quickly during season and then leave. That's probably not what's keeping it sustainable, right? For the industry.
Yeah. A lot, right? Think about it. Right now, even in the US, a lot of people are just launching meme coin pump and dump, and then after that they leave and then pay salaries. I'm like, what the hell happened to the industry? Right? They're thinking about how do we democratize financial access, create a new type of money. But people now here is just like, hey, I want to make some quick money, right? And then after that, they make some money, then they leave. It's not healthy for the industry. So that is why having a long-term view is very important. And that is also why I'm thinking about sustainability. Having a sustainable model that able to grow is important. So it's not just, hey, I want to come here, launch a token, let's see whether it will succeed or not. So that's not how we think, right? We should aim for long-term and sustainable. Then it's something that you can do for long-term.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, we need it long term for it to succeed. If you just more and more people coming with like extractive mindset, like you said, and just come and trend, I feel like it's gonna have a very bad effect, right, on the industry. I mean, not only from the financial, but also on the reputation side as well for the industry. And we as a builder here, I think understand that, and definitely one more long-term mindset builder. Cool. And final question: where can people follow you on your company? If you share any public handles or username?
Sure. Let me share the last link so people can look at it and then they can see.
Yes, feel free to.
So effectively, MAIGA, our website is called MAIGA.ai, Make AI Great Again. Our website is MAIGA.ai. You can find all the right information, the GitHub, the documentation, the Twitter and Telegram of the website. As for me personally, my Twitter handle is Victor Lee JW. But anyway, you can find us, once you click on the website, you can find us information of the builders, the team behind it at the Twitter as well. So yeah, we are approachable. Feel free to look for us, to chat, and follow us. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll make sure to put all the links in the show notes so that people can follow.
Yeah.
Victor, thanks again for joining the show today. It's been a pleasure having you on and chatting with you about MAIGA and proof of trading. Well, I wish you and your team the best of luck going forward.
Thank you, Lau. Thank you very much. Appreciate to be here today.
Pleasure. Cool. And we're back to my studio. What do you guys think about the proof of trading token model invented by MAIGA team? Please leave your comment below to let us know, and we will make sure to respond to your comments. For the next episode, we'll be talking to Kevin Rusher, founder and CEO of RAG. RAAC stands for Regnum Arum Acquisition Corp. RAG is providing a bridge between DeFi and TradFi. They're also modernizing the way investors can access and profit from stable assets. If you're into RWA, real world assets, then the next episode is a must listen. If you enjoy this episode, give a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.